Hello to all the 4% of my viewers who are watching this. It is I, the Sonic Man, and today we're going to be talking about a masterpiece known as ODDTAXI. And I'm sure you're thinking, Sonic's going to just recommend another stupid furry anime again. And no, that is not the case, because if I were to do that, I would recommend Dragon House Hunting, which is an isekai anime about this cute dragon who goes look for a house in a dangerous isekai world. And it's very cute and it's very wholesome, but we're not recommending that. We're actually recommending something good. So I'm not really going to structure this review that well. I'm mostly just going to gush about how much I like this show, and also no spoilers, just FYI. ODDTAXI is a show about a walrus who takes customers around in his taxi, and weird stuff happens around him. That's the best synopsis I can give to the show, without spoiling much. ODDTAXI is a drama, mystery, slice of life show, and it combines all these elements very well to tell the story that it wants to tell. I don't know if that sentence made a lot of sense, but that's what I'm going with that. I love this show. I think the story is awesome. ODDTAXI has a lot of themes that it tries to portray. So you got regular society, adult life stuff, idol groups and their struggles, marriage life, gacha games, mafia, murder. It's got a lot. The strong point of the show are the characters. I would say the show actually character-wise reminds me of Bakano. There are so many characters in the show that I felt it was quite lost in the first episode, but by the end of it, I did get a grasp on each of them and how they were important in the general story as a whole. Arakawa is definitely the highlight because after all, he's the main character of the show, and his character is just really interesting. He's a very mundane, normal guy, but at the same time, he keeps to himself. And the intriguing part about him is definitely that he has a mysterious past that we want to unravel as we go through the show. While watching the show with my friends, it's I feel because there's a lot of characters to look at and relate to. I think everybody who watches the show has a different takeaway and feeling, because I had friends who watched the show and they liked A or B, and then I had friends who liked the show and they cried at a C or D scene. And personally, I liked E. Yeah, these alphabet characters are awesome. I feel I want to compare this show to some other similar ones so you guys can get a better grasp as to how ODDTAXI is. I just compared it with Bakano, but another show that I think is very similar in terms of theme and style is Agretsuko. They both are shows that tackle the topic of adult life and sort of has this realistic portrayal in the show and stuff. And they both have animalistic characters. But where it differentiates, I feel is Agretsuko takes the theme and parodies it more, whereas ODDTAXI has more of a plot, if that makes any sense, which is why I think I like ODDTAXI a bit more. They both definitely tackle a lot of the same themes and such. The other thing that I want to compare this with is, and I think it's probably the most similar thing that I can compare it with, is Pulp Fiction. There's so many things I feel that are very thematically the same with both of these. You got mafia, different perspective of time and situation with characters. And honestly, this show has a lot of Tarantino type dialogue. And I think it's one of the best things about the show. Two characters may talk about some mundane thing about their lives or something like that. Just like in Tarantino movies, it's pop bellies or foot massages, but you're intrigued. You want to hear more of what they're saying. And through these conversations, you get character development and also some hints as to foreshadowing future events. It's great. I think the dialogue in this is very, very great. One big thing that I would say that made me wait till this long to recommend the show is because I wanted to see how it ended. Because this is the kind of show, it doesn't matter how good it is. If it does not have a good ending, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. I would be wow, I feel I wasted my time looking at wasted potential. Why would I want to watch that again? But in my opinion, I think it has a pretty great ending. It was an ending that had me kind of chewing for a while, but I liked it. I feel some parts of it might be controversial for some people, but in my opinion, I like the ending as a whole. Now, in terms of negatives, I feel I have to mention some. The animation quality isn't the best. It's definitely nothing that wowed me, or it's kind of really regular, but at the same time, I didn't come to watch this show because of the animation quality. I came for the story and the characters, which delivers heavily. It's not like Jujutsu Kaisen, where I need to see action in order for me to rate this show highly, No, this show is about the characters and the story, which I think it delivers heavily. The other thing, I don't even want to talk about this, but I have to put it in the negativity, and it's the fact that the art style is not going to attract a lot of people. If you'd never watched this show, it definitely is because the art style is not getting you. You don't have your Kirito as the main character. You don't have your best booby waifus and stuff like that. It's just all this friggin' Doraemon animal style characters. And I mean, I can see why that's a big turnoff, especially in this stan culture. You gotta look at the main character and be would I jerk off to this? And I can see why you wouldn't want to jerk off to a fat, old, slob, boring taxi driver. I get that. But I think that's also what makes it like a very unique show. In terms of the anthropomorphic aspect of the show, I think they do a very good job with the usage of them. Sometimes I like to like ask, why did the show use like anthropomorphic characters to tell the story? For like Beastars and like Zootopia, it's obvious that it's correlated to like the worldview, and there's this whole carnivore and herbivore conflict that makes it interesting. I feel like ODDTAXI is kind of like in the same vein of like Agretzko or like BoJack Horseman. The characters' designs kind of reflect like their personalities, and that actually is a really fun way of looking at this show. I look at this character and I ask, why is he a walrus? Why is she a cat? Why is he like a giraffe? And if you think about that and you think about the animal that correlates to their personalities, it gets really interesting. And even by the end of the show, I feel like it has a really great payoff to it too. For me personally, I love the art style. I really got into the show because of the art style. It's so unique and interesting. And no, it's not for other reasons, okay? It's because it's interesting. That's all, okay? Jeez. What else do I want to mention? Oh yeah, the opening. I know I praise this anime a lot, but I genuinely feel like this is like the best opening of the year. The song is just so chill and catchy. Usually when I watch anime, I just skip the intro, but this is like one of the only animes that I never skip an intro once because of how awesome the song is. And the other one would be Beastars Season 2's ED. Even if you're not gonna watch this show, please do yourself a favor and check out ODDTAXI's opening. It's legendary. So overall, I would say if you like Agretzko, if you like Pulp Fiction, then I think you'll really, really like ODDTAXI. I wouldn't recommend this to like 9-year-olds, like very, very young kids. This is definitely one of those deep thinkers, like slow burn type shows. So if you're into those diamond slayers and shenanigans like that, then I wouldn't recommend this show. Yeah, I would give it objectively a very, very high 8, but I mean, I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. I mean, I gave it a 10 out of 10 on my anime list, but a 9 out of 10. I really like this show a lot, and I would love to even watch it a second time just to like catch on those small details and foreshadowings in the beginning. I'll tell you how much I love this show. There's this thing called the ODDTAXI audio drama. It's basically like more ODDTAXI, but like in podcast formats, and it's great. I freaking love those. If you love ODDTAXI, I highly recommend the audio drama. Man, there's just so much I want to like talk about, but like I can't because it touches like the spoiler territory. But if you're still not really sure if you want to watch the show, I recommend the 3-episode rule, where like you just check the first 3 episodes out and get a good feel to it and see if you want to keep on watching. Although I would say I recommend the 4-episode rule, because personally I think the 4th episode through the whole entire season is still the best and my favorite. It's such an interesting and creepy character study that made me like feel super stressed out after I was done watching that episode. Like I genuinely felt uncomfortable after that, and it's amazing. And also, if you're wondering, yeah, that's my favorite character of the show. Really the main reason I even wanted to make this video is because I feel like this show is such a hidden gem. Like I feel like not enough people are talking about it. I feel like the art style is one of the reasons as to why it's pushing it away, but I feel like that's like its biggest advantage it has. I will say though, people definitely are getting on the trend more now. It's ranked number 69 on my anime list. Nice. And also the friend group that I watched this show with, they all agree and say that this is better than Beastars, which is a very disgusting opinion, but I'm just saying this to tell you guys how highly rated people think of this show. I feel like it's like kind of like my duty to make this video to like share this anime to the 4% of my viewers who are watching this and just tell you guys like how great it is and how much I just recommend it. I mean, yeah, like Dragon House Hunting is also not doing too well, but I mean, but ODDTAXI is like actually a good show that I need to recommend. Like it's my duty. So yeah, if you somehow wandered upon this video and if you're interested, go check it out. Check the show out. Give the show a shot. It's really good. I really highly recommend it. And I guess that's all I have to say. So thank you all so much for listening to my gushing. And I'm gonna lock myself back into the basement and work on my Mortal Kombat 2021 Sucks video nonstop. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all sometime in the future. Beep boy. 2, 1, go. Ooh, 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 ooh. Got to call the box dog set and the book on the tank and the dance at it. Book and I hint at the tongue, him down, but come on, come on, come on, come on, him that he got to the say go da. But at least that so, honto, I'm stopping. Also, the music is good. I can't believe I forgot to record this.